Hey viewers and friends, Andrew back again, and welcome to another video. And I'm just here to give you a collection overview of my Arrow video collection. So I've done a few of these before, but it has been a while since I've updated this collection, and I've added a few titles to the collection fairly recently. So the main reason I felt like doing this video is I actually got inspired by another YouTuber. Now, he's fairly new to the community and he goes by the name of the Home Movies Fan. So what I'll do is I will leave a link to his channel in the description box, so please check him out and please subscribe. We've chatted a little bit and he's left a lot of great comments on my videos, or some of them at least, and he seems like a really nice guy. So please check him out and give him some support. So I was watching his horror collection overview video and he's got a pretty impressive horror collection, but one thing really stood out to me, and that was his Arrow video collection. He didn't really go too in depth, he sort of just showed the collection off and talked a little bit about it, but he has probably the biggest collection of Arrow video movies I have ever seen. It was amazing. So hopefully, mate, at some point you can do a more in-depth video of just your Arrow collection, because I would certainly love to see that more in depth. I'm pretty certain he owns all the Steelbooks Blu-rays, which is pretty awesome. So he was a big inspiration to this video, so I'm just going to get straight into it now, and I'll start with the Steelbooks Blu-rays. So anyone that is familiar with Arrow video will know that these Steelbooks releases for the most part are out of print now. They were the first editions that they released, and they're some of my favourite movie releases. I really love the Steelbooks editions. So first of those we have is Battle Royale. A great release to an awesome film. They also released a box set of this one, which I'm kind of wishing I picked up, but that one's out of print. But still, this is a great release. Next up, we have City of the Living Dead, and this one is getting a steelbook release in a couple of weeks, and I'm really looking forward to it because the artwork's amazing. And this is a great Italian zombie film, probably my favourite zombie film from Italy, and the gore effects are excellent. So highly recommend City of the Living Dead. Really happy to own this release, and this is probably Arrow's rarest Blu-ray, for one big reason. Arrow have now lost the rights to this movie, which is kind of unfortunate because I was really hoping they would release a steelbook of Dawn of the Dead along with Day of the Dead, but sadly that won't be happening now. This was one of their first Blu-ray releases, and it's a classic film and an excellent release. So anyone out there who's a fan of this movie, and if you can come across this Blu-ray, definitely pick it up. The same goes for Day of the Dead. This was one of their earlier releases and it's also out of print. Luckily though, they still own the rights to this film and they're re-releasing it on Steelbook, which I have pre-ordered. My favourite zombie film of all time, my favourite gore effects of all time. This is an amazing release to an amazing movie. The next one we have here is Demons, and Demons is a great movie. It's a lot of fun, and this was one of their last Steelbooks releases, and they chose an interesting colour scheme for this one. The Steelbook is black, and then this is their custom artwork, which I do like, but it is a little bit too cartoony, I think, so decided to stick with this one. But yeah, really fun film and a great release there. Next we have Deep Red, which is an excellent giallo film. The Exterminator, which I still haven't checked out, but I've heard pretty good things about it. Maniac Cop, which is a really fun slasher film from the 80s. Kind of a different slasher, but really enjoyable movie. And yeah, they did release this one on Steelbook as well, or they're going to be releasing it. I'm not sure if it's out yet. Next up though, we have Phenomena, and this is one of their alternate covers with creepers. This is a very strange and weird movie, but I do enjoy it a lot. And that one is also getting a Blu-ray release on Steelbook as well. Moving on, we have Red Scorpion, and this is another one that I still haven't got around to watching yet. And this one stars Dolph Lundgren, of course, and the artwork is pretty cool. I've heard this is a pretty decent film, not one of the best 80s action films, but still, I did pick it up really cheap, and it's definitely one that I want to check out at some point. Then for the last of the Steelbooks releases, we have Zombie Flesh Eaters. Now sadly, when this movie came out, I wasn't really big into Italian horror. That's just a newfound interest of mine, and I missed out on the Steelbook, which was really disappointing because I would love that. That's long out of print, as is this edition, I believe, and even getting this particular release, I was kind of lucky to get it because I kind of bought it late after it came out, and this had a pretty limited print run, but luckily Arrow Video still had some on their site, and I was able to obtain a copy for a really good price. So this is a great release, and I do like the movie quite a bit. Alright, so that is the slip boxes out of the way. Now we'll move on to their standard Blu-ray releases, which is basically their new format. So first up with those, we have Black Sabbath, and these Blu-rays just come with the two alternate covers. They still come with the booklets. So that's Black Sabbath. Then next we have the Cat O' Tails, an amazing Giallo movie. This is probably my favourite Argento Giallo film, actually. I love the characters, I love the storyline in this one. The kills are pretty interesting, so I definitely recommend this film, and this is a really good release as well. Next up we have Motel Hell, and I'm not a massive fan of this movie. I don't hate it, but it's definitely not one of my favourites. The artwork's really awesome on it though, and it is a pretty solid release for the film. Next one is one of my most recent additions to the collection, and that is The People Under the Stairs. This is a pretty underrated 90s horror movie, and I definitely recommend it. I still haven't checked out the Blu-ray yet, but I'm sure it's really good. So that's that. Another one of my recent additions is The Stuff, and this is awesome in terms of artwork. This is the alternate cover, which is amazing, and the Arrow commissioned art for this is really good as well. So that's The Stuff. Alright, so that's the standard Blu-rays out of the way. Now we'll move on to Steelbooks. So Arrow are finally really focusing on Steelbooks at the moment. They released a few earlier on, like the Demons 1 and 2 and the Zombie Flesh Eaters, but it's sort of only really been this year that they've been re-releasing a lot of their past Blu-ray movies onto Steelbook form, and they're doing an excellent job on them. So the first one we have here is The Beyond, and this is a really good film. I don't like it quite as much as City of the Living Dead, but still it is very good, and the artwork on this is amazing. So there's the front cover, and really nice artwork on the back as well. So I highly recommend this release. It is fantastic, and this is a 2-disc set, and it comes with a pretty thick booklet. So as I mentioned before, this was one of their earlier Steelbook releases. It's Demons 1 and Demons 2. Really good Steelbook, and I do enjoy the movies, especially the first one. And then the last Steelbook I own is Tenebrae, and this is one that I recommend highly. even if you've bought the previous Blu-ray for Tenebrae from Arrow Video, because the picture quality is slightly superior on this release. The artwork is really simplistic, but I really like it. So there's the front, and there's the back. Now, if you're just getting into Italian cinema, or giallos especially, this is a really good movie to start with, because it does have a lot of slasher elements, especially towards the end of the film. Okay, and now for the last part of the video, we will move on to the DVDs. So I don't own as many DVDs as I do Blu-rays, but first up for the DVDs we have Blood Feast 2, and I believe this is out of print. Next DVD we have is The Deadly Spawn, and this is an excellent, really fun 80s creature feature film with some pretty good gore, so I definitely recommend this one if you don't own it. So that's that. Next up we have Pieces with some of my favourite Arrow commissioned artwork. I'm a big gore fan, so this cover is pretty much perfect to me. Now, I've only seen this movie once before, and it was quite a while ago, and I wasn't a massive fan of it, so I definitely need to give this one another watch. One of my favourite slashers of all time, Slaughter High. This is a fantastic release, and from what I know it's the best release of the movie to date, so I highly recommend the Arrow Video DVD. Yeah, as I said, one of my favourite slashers of all time. Marty is an awesome character. The rest of the characters are pretty fun. There's some awesome kills, good variety of deaths, and the soundtrack, or the theme song rather, is fantastic. Next up we have Silent Night, Deadly Night, and this is the uncut version, and this is another fantastic release like Slaughter High. For quite a while it was the best edition of this movie. I'm not too sure whether it still is or not, because there has been some recent re-releases in America. Some awesome news. It's not Arrow Video related, but I think it was Anchor Bay are going to be releasing this one on Blu-ray later this year in the US. That is frigging awesome. I've been wanting this movie on Blu-ray for quite some time now, and I'm really surprised it's taken this long to get a Blu-ray release. So later this year, this one hits Blu-ray in America, and I believe it's the uncut version too, from what I've read. So I'll definitely be picking that up. I'll still be keeping the Arrow DVD though, and this is one of my favourite slasher films, and probably my favourite Christmas horror film. And last up for the Arrow Video DVDs we have Street Trash. Now this one also has a Blu-ray release in America, but I haven't really rushed into getting that. I've heard the picture quality is really good. However, this honestly isn't one of my all-time favourite movies. I do enjoy it, but I just haven't picked up the Blu-ray, and I'm not too sure if I will upgrade, because this is a fantastic release. The cover art is amazing, and I'm pretty happy with this one. So that's Street Trash. And two more titles. This is the Aerodrome label, which is sort of like a side label of their company, and these are just cheaper editions to get. So the first one we have here is Day of the Dead, and this was just simply another double dip because the artwork is different. And lastly, another Aerodrome DVD is Don't Go in the House. So yeah, that does it for my Arrow video collection. Once again, if you're not subscribed to the Home Movies Fan, channel link in the description box, please check him out. And I know a lot of you own quite a few Arrow video releases, so definitely let me know what some of your favourite Arrow video releases are in the comments section below. I hope you've enjoyed the video, and thanks a lot for watching.